whatever they consider to be golden. Touchdown in 95, that's when my soul was awoken. God bless me with this life, man, I should never feel broken. I hope to heal your wounds with these wisdom words I've spoken. I'm here for a reason and I'm gonna live my purpose. I'm rolling in the deep, I ain't here to scratch the surface.
Ando bien greñuda, and I'm like, am I greñuda or am I curly? Which one is it?
Because I have straight hair and I took a shower and I slept in.
So it's like my bed head is my like texture hair. My bed head. I'm about to meet up with Tone. We have a meeting today. It's someone that I'll see if I could record that little clip or not. And then I have a podcast today, so I was like, you know what? Let me just take the motivators with me because I was doing the day of life of somebody else. So like the day in the life of me. With Tone now.
Hey, what up?
Just got to Iowa City looking for some parking. If you're not from Iowa or don't know of Iowa City at all, or like cities in general, parking sucks here, even though it's in Iowa. And if you don't park right, you'll get towed right away. So it's like, damn it. We gotta park like 2 blocks away, but it's all right. So we're gonna be a little late for our meeting, but it's okay because we're still gonna get things done. And literally while we're driving here, we're always talking about stuff. And even with like the other people in our team, we're just having a casual conversation, but we're talking about work because we just love what we do so much. Right. So it's like, it's not even work. It's just like living, chilling, vibing, and building from that. So it's amazing. We out here on the new moon manifesting big things, affirming big things, and just filling our soul with the good stuff and releasing the bad stuff. You know, sometimes life throws you curveballs. We're stuck on the side of the road, low fuel, and it didn't give me the chance to go to the gas station, which was like the exit is not even a mile away, but it happens. Not a rough life, right guys? Not a rough life.
I definitely thought about it.
A few days later after that situation, I didn't end up having the podcast that day, but I tattooed myself. I got someone that is a customer at Unimpaired, and she did henna on her friends while she was there, and I was like, this is the person I need to draw my tattoo. And she did drawing, and this is what it came out to. I was so excited. I was like, I gotta do this today because I'm so busy and I wanted it so bad. I gotta go do a podcast in a second. We postponed it just a little bit, so now I'm just waiting in the car and gonna be out and about. It's gonna be exciting, and I'll get you guys a little bit of snippets there. It's Bryan Lee's podcast. I think it's GMX. I'll have to link it right here. I'm here in the podcast studio. There's so many locations now to record a podcast, and of course we got the infamous Bryan Lee right there. He's setting up for another podcast that's gonna be done. See, like everything, like things just keep on happening. Either you're with the team or you're on another team. Just Iowa, like this is where it's at. Okay, it's not just corn up in here, we're up in here. Hey guys, I am with Rollin.
What's up?
Where can they find you?
Yeah, you can look me up, youtube.com/RollinK. You'll be online, Sons of Mac, Yellow Bro Entertainment. Look us up. Got beats,
Pretty lit.
music, doing our thing. Rollin K, DJ Suave with Chapis.
Hey guys, so this was unintentional. I'm with
Tabitha.
And where can they find you?
Deck Diaries, Instagram and Facebook.
This is what this is set up for. Just like if you're on a deck. So how did it start? And
On my deck, at home, on my deck.
There you go.
Yeah.
I was about to ask, but she just laid it out right
On
there.
the deck.
On the deck, just chilling,
Real people,
vibing.
real conversations.
I love that.
Unedited.
Ooh, just all
No
raw,
edit, all
uncut.
raw, all
Ooh,
raw.
I love that.
Shut
The
the
awesome.
At Deck Diaries.
Hey!
It's nice to meet you.
So I was feeling really low energy, but since I was in the studio room, I got to meditate, guys, and I feel great.
GXP Podcast. Chatting with the coolest people from across the Midwest who do some awesome things. Hey, that's the podcast. Thanks for coming out. Yeah, we love it. Now, here's your host, Bryan Lee.
DJ Bryan Lee.
Oh yeah, welcome to GXP Podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Hey,
The laughter and the applause ended really quickly, didn't it?
That sounded so great. I could depict whose laughs those were.
Yeah, you know who they were?
Well, one of them was very, you could really tell.
You mean in the intro there?
Yeah,
Yeah, who was that, you think?
I could hear Tone.
Yeah, Tone was one of them. You're right.
I was
You're
like,
right.
I think it's from
Yeah.
editing for him
Yeah.
too. I know his laugh.
Yeah, one was Tone. So my son made that intro actually when he was like 15 years old, and took a podcast that I did with Cale Henderson, Steve Shriver, Tone the Boss, and Mike Schulte. I mean,
See, I love to get like raw footage from something else to add to something else.
Yeah.
That sounds so cool. I've done that before with Count a Blessing.
yeah.
So I was with him and Quarter one time, and they were just, we were just all vibing. They were making some music, and I was like, hey guys, what about this? And like I grabbed a little clip of my vlog. I don't know, we all just thought about it. I was like, wait, I have something like that. And then I was like, yeah, let's use this. And so I sent it to them. They made it into a sound, and now you have a little like thing saying, go, blessing, go. And then me
Yeah.
in the background, because I was vlogging. It sounds great.
Let's figure out who you are. Who's my guest today? I always say your name wrong.
Yeah, I just realized.
I know, and I'm having a hard time with it. So help me out here, okay?
Okay, first you say it.
Chapis?
So Chapis.
Chapis.
Chapis. Mhm.
Okay, so Chapis.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes,
You got
and
it.
you are a video vlogger. You got a crazy social media, following, and you just like to vlog everything that people do that are positive. It sounds like.
Yes, so my channel is called Get Motivated With Me, and it pretty much just narrows down to like everything motivational, anything that can inspire anybody. So when I first like come out to people or like introduce myself, I say like I'm an influencer, but not just in social media, like in life. I just like to
Yeah.
influence people to move forward, and using my platform as like my life to help inspire you to fulfill all of your dreams, whatever that may be. Hopefully it's positive, but
I think so. How can we find you on social media? I mean, obviously, if you're watching us right now, you know how to find her. But for the people that are going to be listening to this podcast here, we want to figure out where we can find you and follow
so
you.
on YouTube, I am Get Motivated With Me, and the good thing about YouTube is you could put spaces, so they have spaces. It's not like all together. And then all my other handles on everything else is ecstatic00. So that's spelled wrong, because I used to think that I was making up a word when I was like 13, but I thought I was putting excited and something else. I can't think about it. But it's EXSTATIC00.
I love it.
And
I
then-
follow you.
Oh,
And,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
we just met each other a couple months ago, actually,
Mhm.
and we basically kind of connected in the social environment. And I seen you on Talking T1 or Top
Talking-
Tier.
yeah,
Top
Talking
Tier. I
Top
know.
Tier.
Sorry, Tone. I'm sorry.
There's a
Talking
lot of
Top
T's.
Tier. Yeah, so many T's.
It's a tongue twister.
It is.
But hey, if you got it,
Yeah,
you got it.
You've got it, yeah. And you sparked my curiosity of what you're doing and how you're
Nice.
helping people. So ended up meeting in Iowa City, and then since then we just kind of been chatting back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to see who you are. Like, what are you doing? You got a crazy life.
Yeah, as you looked at my tattoo, because I just literally just like inked myself.
It's amazing.
Thank you. It was a lot of turning my arm,
Yeah, I bet.
and having my kids help me stretch my skin, and my husband just like, it sounds like an exhausting thing for them, because they're just like, oh, am I done yet? And I'm like, come on, just help me. I am a vlogger. I've been vlogging since I can remember, almost around the time where YouTube was still fairly new, because I always knew that I wanted to do something like that and just putting my life out there. Also because I was very reserved as a kid, and now I'm like so open. But I was so reserved. But I think it's also too because I didn't know myself. I didn't know
Were
a
you
lot.
born here? Can I ask that?
I was born in Dodge City, Kansas, and then my parents got divorced, and my mom came back up here to Iowa because my mom's from Chicago,
Okay.
and her mom, my grandma, was living in Columbus Junction, so that's
Okay.
why we came back to Iowa. And it was just like, my mom likes it here in Iowa for us, a better life.
And it's really cheap to live here.
Yeah,
Honestly.
depending where, because you
Yeah.
go to Iowa City, and that's
Yeah,
like the
that's
city.
different,
Yeah. Luckily here in Cedar Rapids, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty
it's
good
not
living
bad.
wage, yeah. And shoot, then you got us, and you could get to know us.
Yeah. Hey, I like it.
Right? Just present yourself, and we'll meet.
That's all you have to do.
Everybody listening is gonna be like, Cedar Rapids, Iowa.
Boom, Cedar Rapids, Iowa. No.
Yeah, like, now I know.
No, they made a whole movie about Cedar Rapids and nobody
Oh,
watched
really?
it. Yeah.
What?
I mean, John C. Reilly was the star of it and everything.
I don't know who that is. I'm so bad with like names. Like I'm getting better. I'm definitely getting better with names because I'm really trying to like practice and not say that. I don't want to manifest that. But I don't know every like famous actor, and I'll be like, yeah, and then I just like show me a picture.
There's nothing wrong with that, though.
Oh, okay.
No. That's just how I grew up, and I'm quite a bit older than you are, so.
That doesn't matter, because I remember when I met you, I was like, wait, no, you are not your age. Like, what? You have
I'm
a
41.
15-year-old?
I know, and an 18-year-old. Yeah.
Yeah. See, I'm like, no, what? That's wild. But that's good. You carry yourself very youthful, and I think like a lot of people that do get older, like me, for a sense, I feel like the older I get, the more youthful I'm getting. But I think it's because like I'm just so vibrant, and I'm just gaining knowledge. So
Sure.
I just say I'm getting wiser, not older.
Well, and if you take care of yourself, you'll continue to like look younger.
Yeah. I've lived in Iowa City for a while, like when we were kids, and then Columbus Junction was like our like destined place that we like situated more. And I love that we got to, because we learned so much more about our culture, because in Columbus Junction there's a lot of Hispanics.
Yeah, there is. Yeah.
So that was awesome. Like when they would teach us new words like Mexican slang, like we knew Spanish, but like Mexican slang, and we're like, what the heck is that?
Yeah.
And so it like just made us more cultured. And then that's when I started vlogging, or not vlogging, because vlogging I think wasn't a thing yet. I just started recording like random stuff. I started b-girling. So
B-girling.
Yeah, I was like, you have to know what that is.
You gotta educate me.
No, so it's like breakdancing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. No, that's
And we
dope.
had a crew.
Yeah.
It was awesome. Like I had a crew, and I was like the only girl in my crew. And so that's what I'm saying. Like I've always had like guy friends, and that's where I feel like I fit best. Now actually it's like the only time that I'm actually like in a group of girls that all get along and don't have like animosity, which is great. It took me 28 years, which is fine. I got married when I was 16.
Whoa,
and then
whoa. You were 16?
Yeah, I was 16. So
I mean, congrats. You guys are still together.
yeah, so we are still together with a lot of bumps in the road. We just actually recently got out of a really, really big bump in the road, but we're making it through, and that's all I can, ask for. And I'm so glad I still have like my best friend on my side, because even when we were going through it, I was like more sad because I felt like I was losing my best friend. Like my ride or die, and I'm like, even if we don't make it out, like you're still forever gonna be my best friend. Like not only because we have kids together, because we grew up together.
Yeah.
Ooh, making me emotional.
Wow. No, congratulations. That's amazing that you guys got through these bumps in the road and you guys are still together. I mean, it gives me inspiration that maybe somebody will love me someday. But
we all love you. It's just romantically, right?
Yeah,
it's different.
yeah.
And see, during our separation, our break, or whatever you want to call it, I actually was learning a lot about myself and learning like
got married so young though, so
exactly. So a lot of these years, also having kids, I had my oldest when I was 17. I had my daughter, my second, when I was 19. And then 24, I had my third. And then we were in a polyamorous situation. So then she had my last baby. I think it was 26. So it's like I still consider him mine and everything. I'm like, nothing can change that. Nothing can break my bond. But we'll get into that.
Yeah.
Polyamorous stuff later.
Yeah. I'm curious.
And we've always been polyamorous too. So it's just like growing up, we've just like, mainly me, I learned a lot of myself, because I learned that I couldn't rely on one person for my happiness.
Yeah.
And not even saying like I could rely on two either. I just realized I couldn't rely on anyone for my happiness. So that's kind of how I got into vlogging, because I was a stay-at-home mom and I still wanted to be something, be successful, and like have talents. And at a young age, I started doing hair for my friends, like dyeing hair. And like every time you see me, you're gonna see me in different colors.
Different colors every single time I've ever seen you. And
Yeah.
it's been like 10 times now, and I'm like, wow,
Right.
this is amazing.
And it's like, if not, it's just a different shade, because I
Yeah.
haven't dyed it yet. Is when I started learning just more about myself, and realizing that I just wanted to learn more and more, and like pretty much accomplish everything that I put my mind to. So it's like, if And also, like, I grew up poor, so it's like my mom also taught us, like, you can do it too. And it's like, then you don't have to go pay somebody to do it. If you learn how to do it, you don't have to pay somebody. So then that helped me in my marriage because we we started young. It's not like we were financially stable. So I learned how to cut hair for the kids and like doing it for friends so I could have money too, instead of just like having to go to work, because at that time I was still very anxious about anybody taking care of my kids.
Sure.
So it's like I did a lot of stuff from home. And that's kind of how I got into tattooing recently, because I was like...
You got a couple.
Yeah, and I just started last year.
And that's just what I can see, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I have some on my legs too.
I'm sure. Yeah.
And then pretty much vlogging all of my life struggles and like being raw and like putting my life out there, at least the parts that I want to share, because it's like you don't want to share too much because it's personal.
Yeah.
And with some personal stuff, like I'll let myself go through the personal stuff until I figure it out, and then I talk about it instead of during, you know, because I at least want to have an answer so I can be a benefit to somebody else or an advocate. So to be like, hey, I went through this too, and like, let me help you with what helped me during it, and like, and then what didn't help me, you know, like, don't do this, I did this. And I've also been sober for a little over a year.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
I know it's hard.
Yeah.
I mean, like in society, it would be hard.
I mean,
you know,
you can get booze literally everywhere.
Yeah, literally everywhere. And like every time you hang out with friends, you know, they're drinking, and either if they're good drinkers or not. I've always usually had good drinkers around me. There's only been very few times that I've had negative experiences. And
So what made you decide to give up alcohol altogether?
it was the fact that I was studying in the Maharishi University International, located in Fairfield, Iowa, and it's based on consciousness, like elevating consciousness, and that's where I learned to meditate. So like right before this, I took a little meditation session. I want to get back into it, but they teach you how to do transcendental meditation. They teach you so that's like the effortless as possible, because something that's more effortless is more natural. And like the more natural it is for your nervous system and everything, the easier going and the more healing you'll have. With all of that, I actually decided to be sober before that, but it's helped me stay sober because I'm like, no, I want the best experience, and I want to be like really focused and like having my mind like on one. But honestly, it was also my health, because my gallbladder got inflamed, I guess you could say. Like I got a really bad infection and I was losing a lot of weight, and like part of me liked it, and this is so negative, but it's something I had to go through. So my mom is morbidly obese, and she always showed us that being big was negative, and not like necessarily by implementing it on us, because she really did implement like healthy habits on us, so that we wouldn't have to struggle like she struggles, because she grew up with people not caring about what she eats or how much she eats, or they would give her leftovers. And so it just constantly kept her being big, and that was her safe place. That's how she coped.
Wow.
And so she tried to teach us how to cope better, and she showed us how to be like the opposite of what she did growing up, so that we wouldn't have to struggle like she does. So I kind of dealt with like body dysmorphia, and because like I was a chubby kid, but I like, when I look back, I wasn't really chubby. It was just my cheeks, you know, like the baby cheeks. Like, and I didn't,
nothing wrong with
right, but
See, you look amazing.
Thank you.
Your husband's a very lucky man.
Aww,
you know?
he's probably thinking you.
Yeah, he's like, damn right. I'll fuck you up outside.
No, he's actually starting to get so much like more confident in that, because like
I'm not hitting on your wife. I swear to God. All right?
He's probably like, you know what?
You know,
because I tell him everything, but not like when people are being disrespectful. Like, you're not being disrespectful at all. But anyways, he also realizes like that's what our break has taught him as well. Yeah, you know, is like, shoot, like I took her for granted, and I'm losing a lot. And I'm like, yeah, bro, especially because I wasn't, like, in our break and anything, I wasn't into, like, finding anything. I was like, I'm working on me. Yeah. So the body dysmorphia and stuff, like, we know that she didn't intentionally do it, but then we, like, reflect back on her. And then we're like, if anything, it's, like, a good thing. That's the reason why I liked losing a lot of weight. But until I would see, like, pictures, and I was like, oh, shoot. Like, now I'm losing, like, my Latina parts of me, like being curvy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm getting too skinny and I don't like that. And like, that's not the image I want to uphold. So then I ended up getting really, really sick. I was throwing up all day one day. I couldn't even take care of my kids. I was just like, I need somebody to come help me take care of the kids. I can't even like stand up. I am so weak. So I went to the ER that night. Then they're like, oh, your gallbladder is inflamed and you need emergency surgery. But I had to wait in the hospital for like 2 days because I had an infection.
Oh my
And
God.
so I thought I was like, oh my gosh, it was like so scary because of course they have to tell you all the risks that can happen during surgery. And I was like so scary. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, nothing can happen to me. Like I have to take
Were
care
you
of my
drinking
kids.
at the time?
I drank like, so I never was a heavy drinker. I was more like a social drinker.
Sure. No, I get that. But you
yeah,
know, it just
but when
depends
I-
on how much you drink
Mhm.
at certain times.
But so what I was realizing when I was at the hospital, I was so confused because I'm like the healthiest person I know, like in my circle. I eat very healthy. I'm very conscious eating, you know, because that's like what my mom instilled in us. That's what they're trying to tell me. They're trying to tell me like, oh, it's because you probably don't eat right. And I'm like, no, I do. And they're like, oh. And then it's because when I was pregnant of my last 2 pregnancies had a thing called cholestasis of pregnancy. So a lot of people don't know what that is. And it has to do with creating too much bile in the liver, and then the baby is at risk of fatality because of too much bile.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so that's pretty much what the cause was of me having so much gallstones, because my body was constantly creating too much bile, and that's why I was losing weight, because bile is like a fat burner type of thing, and because I wouldn't eat because my stomach hurt all the
Right.
time.
And you're on the toilet all the time, probably.
Not necessarily that,
No?
because I wouldn't eat enough.
Okay, so there's
Yeah.
nothing to go through you.
Yeah, so
But, like,
it was
even
just
if
like,
you drank water or anything, I want to come through you like that?
no,
or-
not really.
Okay.
Not that I can remember. I believe in fasting. So I was like, oh no, it's fine. I'm just like, you know, getting more conscious. I'm fasting. It hurt, but I just wouldn't listen to my body. And the fact that I was losing weight, I was happy. It was just a toxic mentality that I kept thinking in my head.
It's horrible.
And then so that's why I also stopped drinking, because I was like, okay, I don't have my gallbladder. Now my liver is gonna get tarnished if I don't take care of it. So then I didn't for a whole month after my surgery. Then on my sister's birthday, I did drink a little bit, but I remember just like, I wasn't fazed by it. And I was like, I thought I would be more of a lightweight because I hadn't drank in so long. But the fact that I wasn't fazed by it made me just think like it's pointless.
Yeah.
I don't need it. I have fun without it. And then whenever I set my mind to something, I just stick to it, and I've just never went back.
Good for you.
Thank you.
And you worked at a place in Iowa City called Unimpaired.
Yes, Unimpaired Dry Bar, and it's non-alcoholic. I started working there about 4 months after I already decided to be sober, and that's kind of how I started working there, is because I was like, well, I'm sober. I love it. I love what it's about. I'm just going to work here.
Yeah.
And I didn't think I'd be there for that long. And now I'm going to be there for over like in a year, or I'll hit a year in March.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty great.
It is a great place. They make great mocktails. I was there with Nikki for a karaoke contest, and that was
Oh
our
yeah,
first time.
so talented.
yeah.
These people, man, that I see all the time.
And
It's
it was a great
great.
place. Honestly, we had a great time, and I'll be back for sure. So.
Yay, that's exciting. I'll be the bartender.
You weren't that night. You were just hanging out, I think.
Yeah, because that day I was luckily off. That's the day I went with Quarter and Blessing, and we did the go, Blessing, go.
Yeah.
That same day. See how like the universe just falls into
I know,
line?
right?
It's
Yeah.
so crazy. And then DJ Paul was like a week after
Yeah,
that.
and you hit me up.
Yeah.
And like I was trying to like network with you, but you didn't give me the time of day.
I'm
Like,
so
you were just
sorry.
like, yeah, whatever. And I'm like, no, I seen you on Tone's podcast on his reels or what he put out, and you're just like, all right, yeah, cool, whatever. And,
Oh, you know what it was?
and
I was so
trying to give you
anxious.
my contact info, and I was like, no, you need to hit me up so you can come on my podcast.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, here we are.
Yeah, and we
Everything
made
has
it.
its
Yeah,
time.
I know. But
That's
I
for
was
sure.
like, honestly, I was like, all right, whatever. And then all of a sudden you hit me up a week later, like, hey, can I come to the show and vlog? And I'm like, man. Yeah.
Oh,
So you did get my
okay.
contact. So you did get my contact. Cool.
Also,
Yeah.
you're kind of intimidating. Like in a good
Am
way.
I?
Yeah, like
I'm
in a
sorry.
good way.
I don't want to be.
No. Like, that's why I say like in a good way. Okay, so this is the first time in my life that I meet successful people who are on the same wavelength as me and so humble. So it's like, it was so hard to believe. You know what I mean? That you guys were so willing to like talk to me and like just be like, yeah, of course. And then so I'm just like, okay, like, how do I react to this?
I got that vibe, and that's why I just left you alone after that. I'm like, well, if she wants to, you know, no, she will. And obviously,
I'm
here
definitely
you are.
a
Yeah.
go-getter.
Hey.
Yeah. I thought you meant that I was less talkative at the DJ Paul thing. I was like, because that day I was like, so I've been a stay-at-home mom for all these years except for last year's when I actually started coming out like to the world. And Tone says it's like I'm just like barely living, and I'm like, yeah, pretty much. So a lot of the events that I was going to, I remember feeling super overstimulated and overwhelmed. And I just like had to step back, take a breath, and just keep going, because that's like what I do for my anxiety. I just like, I just do it.
I have anxiety too. Okay.
Yeah, it freaking sucks.
You know, people are like, do you get nervous when you DJ? I'm like, every freaking time.
Right.
And, you know, and they're like, what? And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, you don't, because you hide it well.
Yeah, well, I have to. You know, I've learned to. But at that night, I was just making sure that you got in and you did what you wanted to do, because I had a job to do. So I didn't pay any attention to you.
Yeah, and that's literally, no, it was great. Like in the most positive way, you know? Like we both like had our own missions and we're like, cool, break.
Yep. And you put out some great video footage, and
Thank you.
I liked it, and I shared it and everything else, and you know, we just kind of started to build a business relationship from there. You know? And of course, Tone, thank you, Tone.
I started this vlog with Tone and I ended this vlog with Tone days later, but you know, that's how it goes sometimes. You just got to put it on pause, put life and stuff, and then keep working.
Facts.
Just got to keep going.
Never stop.
Can't stop, won't
Even
stop.
when it's a rough moment, because it's not a rough life.
Yeah, you know, a new intro coming up soon featuring Tone the Boss.
You already know.
Hey. Thanks guys for watching. Just keep going. Keep moving forward.
Stay
keep
motivated.
Swimming. Hey. And what? It's not a rough life. It's a what, Tom?
A rough moment.
You will get
past it and
you will own it.